Our next guest knows how to beat the Bruins. He led that game not only for BYU, but had a game-high 20 in that one in Maui as BYU took down UCLA. Now they match up in the NCAA Tournament. He is Jake Toolson on the Deseret First Credit Union hotline. Jake, welcome back to BYU Sports Nation, man.
What's up, Jake?
It's great to see you.
What's up, fellas? Thanks for having me. It feels good to be here with you guys today.
It's been like a year and 4 months since that UCLA game, and suffice to say, a lot has happened, not only in the world, not only with BYU and you, but UCLA. But here we are, BYU and UCLA again tomorrow night, man.
Yeah, no, it feels right. It's March Madness, best time of the year, so I'm excited to see what happens.
What'd you think of UCLA last night?
I thought they played really hard. Obviously, they got down to that big lead in the first half, but I knew they were going to make it a game in the second half. It was a high-scoring game. They can score. They got guys that just play hard, and I think BYU matches up well against this team. And having played them last year, we're familiar with them. But it's March. There's not a bad team in this tournament, so we're going to have to be playing our best, and I think that's something we'll do.
Jake, you guys obviously had an unbelievable run last year. It got cut short due to COVID, but what does the success of this year's team mean to you and what you guys accomplished last year?
It's been so fun to just watch this team grow throughout the course of the season. I think they are a completely different team than we were last year. But for me, just to be a fan and to be proud of this program is something that I cherish. And it's something that's different than being out there playing. It's a different feeling for me and something that it's new to me. So this team has made me proud all season. And I'm excited that they have this opportunity in the tournament. And I think they feel I wouldn't say pressure, but I think they feel the urgency and they know, what they're playing for and who they're playing for. And I think that they're going to have that chip on their shoulder.
So whether they like it or not, I feel like, and Mark Pope has agreed to this and even brought you guys on via Zoom, I think Sunday, right? For Selection Sunday to have you guys a part of that. They're, whether they like it or not, they're kind of playing for last year's team too. Like having this cathartic experience. Is it cathartic for you? Like, yes, it was devastating, but are you living through these guys a little bit in the experience that they're having sort of for last year's team?
I think so, yeah. Just being so close to these guys and knowing them and Coach Pope has done a great job of helping and making us feel like we're a part of it. And, we laid the foundation. We did what we did last year. And a lot of people would look at that and say, oh, we set the bar pretty high. And people were saying before this season that would be a hard bar to reach. But I think that kind of set the stage for this year's team to be able to do what they did. And I believe in them. It doesn't suck. I'm happy for these guys and that they get this chance, but just seeing March Madness, CBS, like Selection Sunday, hearing these guys' voices, it's like, man, we were right there, but I know this team will come through for everyone that feels some type of way about last year still.
We're talking to Jake Toolson on BYU Sports Nation. Is that hard? Like, to see this, is it hard, or are you over it? Have you? Because honestly, for me, it's hard. Last year, knowing that you guys could have made a run that could have been super memorable, like anything was possible. BYU's playing like a top 10 team at the end of the year. Is it difficult for you to watch this, or have you? Has that crystallized into something positive?
I think a little bit of both. When I'm watching BYU, I have nothing but like good feelings, and I love seeing this team win, and I want them to, make a run. But when I'm watching other games or other teams, I'm like, man, who knows if we're even in this spot, a year from the tournament last year. Like everything could have changed for everyone on that team. Mm-hmm. But that's not a place that I want to live in. It's, you know, it's a fun place to visit when I'm talking with teammates or, you know, friends. But I think we did everything we could to put ourselves in a position to make a run. And I think that I can live with that.
So Jake, let's visit it. I mean, is this team better than your team? How do you guys match up if you're comparing both groups?
You know, that's a good question, and it's a good debate to have. It's a great argument to have because, you know, two really good teams, but I think they're different. So, you know, I don't know if I want to, you know, get into that right now because it's just all about this year's team. But if I was choosing, whoops, camera fell.
We're on a graphic. It was a perfectly timed camera fall.
There we go. If I was choosing, you know, I'm going to have to bet on last year's team, but good thing that will never happen, and we can just enjoy this team right now.
Well, maybe it will happen. Maybe we line it up, you know? Maybe a pickup game, you know?
Maybe this summer we can run it back.
Hey, I do have last year's team by a little bit, and here's why. You guys beat Gonzaga, and that ends up being a top 5 win, and you're top 10 in net. Those things are the arguments I've been making for this group. Now, I do feel like Gonzaga got better this year. Like they even went up a notch, which I didn't know they could go up another notch. And maybe there's another notch for them. I don't know. But how would you compare Gonzaga last year to this year? Because this year felt like Jalen Suggs sort of took them up a little bit.
Yeah, no, Jalen Suggs has completely changed them. But, you know, I could argue that Gonzaga was better last year. They lost Admin Gilder, who was a grad transfer one-year guy. They lost Killian Tilly, Petrusev, who was the player of the year. I think the difference in this year's team and last year's team would be they play Kispert. Sometimes they play him at the floor, but they start Watson. They play Drew Timme. But last year, if a team wanted to just keep a big guy like Matt Harms in the paint, they could, because Petrusev wasn't stepping out and shooting it. They would put Tilly at the 5 and stretch the floor, and it was just completely different game. So, you know, you could argue here or there, but I think both teams are really good. We obviously beat Gonzaga, which was, you know, in my opinion, the best win in the last few years. But I think BYU, they match up well against any team. And I think the difference is people want to say, like, this year's team is called, like, the 10 deep team. I've heard people say that. And then, like, last year's team is, like, the senior 3-headed dragon team. But I don't think BYU this year is even playing 10 guys. I would say the difference is they have 2 7-footers. They have Matt Harms in the paint, and they have size, and they have, you know, they rebound, and they just play a different way. Like, towards down the stretch of the season, they played their 5 starters, and then Trev, Spencer, and Richard. That's 8 guys. That's not 10 guys.
For sure. Really interesting contrasting both groups, but obviously both have accomplished so much. Jake, 2020 was such a crazy year for everyone, but, you know, especially for you and for all pro guys trying to figure out what's next. Can you talk about your journey in the pros and just, you know, the emotional roller coaster up and down of trying to figure out what's next?
Yeah, I mean, you said it best. For everyone, pretty much across the board, it's been a challenge. And I think I've learned a lot about myself. I've had opportunities to reflect and to see, you know, the progress that I've made and kind of where I want to go. But sometimes you just gotta take a step back and try and live in the moment, make the best of every day. I think that, you know, with my injury and, you know, the way it all went down, it's a little bit, of a bummer. And I definitely catch myself, sometimes feeling sorry for myself and that, why did it have to happen like this? And I had to wait a whole year to play. And then the first game, this happens. But I think that you could always have it worse. And I'm grateful for challenges because it allows me to grow. And that's kind of what I've made a career on. And at some point you just want it to stop and just be able to have success all the time. But I don't think that's how it works. I think it's always going to challenge you and test you and try and, mold you into a better player and a person. And that's what I'm going through right now.
And let's go back to that. So G League bubble down in Orlando, Erie Bayhawks won Yoli Childs, and Salt Lake City Stars won Jake Toolson. First off, what were the emotions like in that, seeing Yoli on the other side, your professional debut? And then two, was it an injury that happened in the game? And remind us what it was. Foot, right?
Yeah. Well, it was really cool to experience that with Yoli. We were down there in the bubble together, and it's far from normal down there. Like, everything is just, nothing feels normal. Like, it's just so strange and different and uncomfortable for everyone. So having Yoli there and being able to go through that with him was something that I'll remember forever. And just sharing that moment on the court, our first professional game, like we'll remember that forever. And yeah, in the game, in the second half, like beginning of the second half, I just went up for a rebound and I landed on a guy's foot and fractured my foot. So that's what happened.
Well, we wish you the best in your recovery. And what helps in a recovery is great teammates around you, right? And BYU this year has continued the best locker room in America thing. Jesse Wade stuck in the elevator. They break him out. The COVID testing video went viral. What can you say about what Mark Pope does in a locker room? And you know this from the past 4 years at Utah Valley and then last year. And now we're seeing that continue this year.
It's amazing. It's amazing what that staff is able to do. I think they recruit the right guys and they cultivate that joy and just love for the game in the locker room, and the guys just run with it. We got all the right leaders in place, and it's cool to see. I mean, there's a lot of other teams out there that in coaches that can recruit, they can motivate, they can do all that. But I think, to me, college is all about, having guys buy in, know their roles, and, it's more of just managing that locker room, and that's what they do. I got to call out Coach Feger right now. We all saw the viral video of everyone dancing, going to get their COVID tests, and I was waiting for Coach Feger to pop up and do something, maybe like the Aaron Rodgers discount double check thing. But he didn't do anything. Of course, he's not going to be on the video because he's too shy for that. But I'll give him a hard
step
time.
Up. Come on, Cody.
Yeah.
He's fun in his own way that way. Well, Jake, best of luck. Get that foot healed, and we look forward to many years of professional basketball from you.